Hello and welcome back to Energy Connect Studios, where we bring you the latest updates and insights from the world of energy. I am delighted to have with us here today Aditya Saraswat, SVP and Head of Research at Rystad Energy. Aditya, thank you so much for taking the time.
It's a pleasure, Noor. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us. So I wanted to get your insights on the key trends you see in terms of energy transition within the region, from LNG side to renewable energy and the hydrogen.
Great question, because Middle East comes across as an outlier in that sense, in the eyes and ears of rest of the world, and how it is reacting to legacy oil and gas sector and emerging new energy mix. And there's a reason for that, because in 2020 everybody went back to the drawing board and drawing out a picture of a bit more of a liquids demand which would be pessimistic. But Middle East, on the other hand, took a step back and started looking at things a bit more pragmatically, making sure that we don't, while doing the energy transition, we don't flirt with the energy security. And that remains the core focus of Middle East moving forward, and resulting into that the OPEC demand outlook, which stands a bit miles apart from rest of the world. So when we tie that logic or that key realization in the region, certainly there is an increase, the mandate to increase investments in oil and gas to ensure that the capacity is there in case the market requires increased liquids and gas consumption. Secondly, there is a good amount of liquids and gas consumption in-house as well, which can be displaced by adopting renewable energy and thereby availing that to the world. So that is the core logic which I see, or that is the trend which I see emerging in the region. For example, adopting solar, adopting alternative energy mix to displace, let's say, liquid burns and gas burns, thereby having these oil and gas ready for exports and for wider energy consumption as well. In that pursuit, Middle East, known for its scale, we are looking at lowest cost per delivered unit here in the UAE where we are sitting, and similar trend can be expected. They will be beating records on how low the energy utility can be delivered. And in that pursuit, the goal remains to displace in-house consumption, make sure the energy mix is diversified enough, and thereby having equal or sufficient oil and gas capacity to absorb any shock of energy transition pathways moving forward.
How can the region use technology or deploy technology within existing infrastructure to scale up the transition?
I mean, technology is the core of all the energy transition pathways. We strongly believe that the future of energy is not only clean, but it is also lean in the way we will be consuming energy. So to reduce the size or to reduce the footprint of energy generation and energy delivery and energy consumption, technology plays a big role. For example, where we are heading and where we need to be in the future, we are looking at a gap of 30 to 35 gigatons of CO2 emissions. More than half of that will be curbed using technology. And what Middle East is doing right is just to create an ecosystem to develop these technology. And there is a strong vision from a dynamic leadership saying that we have to be at the forefront of innovation. And that's where proving that at the early stage and deploying that on the large scale is coming up. And we are seeing that the impact of that in the lifting cost, in the ease of doing business, in the ease of supply chain or diversified supply chain in the region. So overall, we believe technology has a great role to play for globally, but the region has adopted technology with both hands open.
And how are some countries, you mentioned earlier the demand for, LNG and gas and all of that. So how are some countries adjusting their own strategies to address the demand, particularly for natural gas?
Um, so 2020 will be seen as the year where we not only change the way we generate energy, but how we are consuming energy. So in that sense, the demand of gas moving forward would be, of course, the low cost, so that you are not onboarding cost and inflation on your economy, but also low carbon. So your generation of your energy should be low carbon, and it should be delivered through low carbon methods. So in that sense, here in the region, when we talk about Qatar and the UAE, there is a strong adoption of CCUS to capture CO2 and to make sure that the carbon footprint is less. And at the same time, reverse LNG, which is here in the UAE, is one of its kind to power up its facility using renewable energy sources. So that itself generates your LNG at very low carbon footprint. So when such low cost and low carbon LNG molecules move out in the market, that will be readily preferred by all the buyers in the market. So that's how the demand side of the things is adjusting. And on the other hand, Middle East is one step ahead to meet that demand. In terms of transportation, we are seeing active adoption of vessels with emission reduction technology employed and and which can reduce essentially the carbon footprint of transportation as well. So that would be the next wave in which you would have the low carbon end-to-end value chain to deliver this gas and LNG to the end consumer.
We can circle back to renewable energy.
Yeah.
So, hydrogen, how does it play into the regional energy mix?
Hydrogen has been one of the key mandate picked up by all the national visions in Oman, in Saudi Arabia, in the UAE, Qatar. Like across the region, wherever we have seen national visions moving forward, hydrogen has been a key pillar of that. We have seen that wave starting in Oman, where we are seeing almost 1.4, 1.5 tons per annum of hydrogen capacity in the announced projects, and we see that almost going to 5 times in the future. And same goes for Saudi Arabia and UAE, although it's not at that scale, but certainly it is, the mandate is there. On the other hand, this hydrogen has to be consumed somewhere. And that's where the public and private players are working closely to create that sort of ecosystem where this hydrogen can be consumed locally. And then when we talk about exporting it, there we are seeing increased ammonia and hydrogen derivative demand in rest of the world, especially like Korea and Japan, where this hydrogen can easily find the home. And again, to Middle East credit, we see that the region is doing a lot more alliances and a lot more partnerships to make sure that this hydrogen being generated finds its way in the countries in the East, especially. Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya, for your time on this wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. I'll be back with more exclusive interviews soon. Stay tuned to our website and social media for more. And until next time, goodbye.